Hello everybody, Dakian here with another product review for you, and what I'm going to review today is this holder, this Rathcore miniature holder version 3. And I'm sort of jumping the gun a little bit because you can't actually buy this product at the moment of recording. This was kickstarted, and I think they delivered to all their Kickstarter backers, at least I have gotten mine. But it's not available for general purchase on their website yet. But I'll link to their website so you can check when they become available. I don't know what the prices are going to be either. According to my invoice, my basic set, which contained the holder, the bar, and one of these corks, was 18 euros. And then I got a mixed set of cork adapters for another 10 euros. So you can work it out. Well, what is it? Well, people have always been using something to hold their miniatures by taking an old paint pot or a bottle or a large piece of cork or whatever, and then sticking your miniature to them while you paint. So you don't have to touch the actual miniature itself. You don't have to hold it by the base, for example. And the normal thing to do is you just have this, what would be the bottom portion of this, and you hold it like this or some other way, and you paint. The novel thing here is this rotating bar. What is this supposed to be used for? Well, it's supposed to provide a different sort of grip. And I've experimented a bit with this, and I've found that the way they showed it on the Kickstarter page doesn't really work for me. What they do there is they hold it like this, and then they kind of rest a paintbrush on the on this thing to provide more stability for that. And hang on, let me get the brush. So the suggested way would be something like this. And I found that I don't like it for two reasons. One, this grip is kind of uncomfortable. I don't have that big hands. The second, if you rest your brush against this thing, it can slide, it can slip. That's not very good. And also, the point of contact is rather far from the miniature, so I don't really like it. My initial attempts, I actually felt more comfortable holding it like this, with this bar within this hand. And then I'll hold the brush as usual and rest my hand against the holder the way I normally do. And this way I can get in there, and this sort of grip, compared to this, it actually does let me get a bit closer, and it provides a different angle. It provides, in some ways, a more comfortable grip. Some more experimentation led to figuring out that I could do a version of what they show on the web page. I could hold it like this, but instead of resting the brush against this bar, I can rest my fingers against it. And that also lets me get more stability. And I can rotate it, and I can paint a different portion of it. But overall, I do think I like this version best because it sort of depends on what part of the miniature I'm painting, and it's flexible. So how does it work in general? Well, let me show you by disassembling it. You have to open it up like this, and then you can get this out, or rather, it releases the tension, so you can remove the cork. And you can get this off completely if you want. You don't really need to. And you have these different sizes of cork. Now, this one is for holding these lipped 30mm bases, obviously. I have one which I believe is this one even larger? This one is slightly larger, so it probably holds unlipped 30 or 32 mils. This one is for when you have a 25mm base. But most of them, the basic idea with these corks is that you haven't put the miniature on the base at all. You have put a pin in the foot or leg of a miniature, and then you trap the pin between these two pieces of cork, and you tighten, because when you tighten this, the idea is, well, that doesn't actually help much, but the idea is when you stick the cork in here, that holds it tight. And you can just sort of push this thing out. Let's see, which one was I using? I was using this one. Is there a difference? Yeah, you see that this one is for something bigger. It's loose in there. So overall, have I found this useful? Yes. Is it worth the money? I don't know. That's up to you if you feel you have the 18 euros or whatever it's going to be to spend. The only disadvantage I can see with it really is the fact that it's made of rather nice wood, and means I don't want to risk spilling paint on it. So I'm not going to do any sloppy painting with these. I am not going to paint this base probably at all while it's in this holder, and I'm not going to do any sort of dry brushing. But it's easy enough. I mean, the point of this holder is that it will help me paint the small stuff more easily, and the big broad strokes I can do having the miniature on some other sort of holder. So I guess I will finish by recommending this. I mean, as I've noted, it is kind of expensive, but if you feel you want to spend that sort of money on your hobby, it does provide a few small advantages over a normal holder. And that's all I can say. And oh, by the way, I almost forgot. If you visit their pages, you'll find that Rathcore have a second version of this thing called a miniature grip, which is essentially a really long handle. It's longer than, at least in the pictures, it looks like it's longer than a normal person's hand. And I did not get one of those, so I can't show it to you. And the reason I did not get one is that I don't see the point, because I already have tons of holders where I hold under the miniature. The whole point of this thing is that I can change my grip so I'm not holding below, but I'm holding around, even upside down maybe, or something like this. A longer handle doesn't help with that. In fact, it would hinder it. It would sort of, that would decrease the utility of it. So, but I guess some people asked for it, and of course a good business sense, if somebody asks for it, is to produce it and offer it for sale, if enough people want it. So, whatever floats your boat. I hope this review was useful to you, I'm Dakia. I hope you'll continue to watch my other videos, but until then, I'm signing off.